Billy Napier to Florida. It's official. I am a fan of this move because, as you know, I've been a fan of Billy Napier. I'm also a fan of how Florida executed this. They were very deliberate, and I don't know if it's just because they kept things bottled up or because they already knew the score of the game before they ever entered the game. But this thing went very quickly. They got rid of Mullen. They had their ducks in a row, and they go after Napier. I have belief because of several conversations. This has been done for a few days. And so now the way this is going to go is Billy Napier and Louisiana, as they've been like every year he's been there, they are in the Sun Belt Conference Championship game. I believe it's this Saturday. A press conference is scheduled the following day. So a week from today, there will be an introductory press conference where Billy Napier will be introduced as the head coach at Florida. Now, a lot of people are already giving you their takeaways on this, which I'm not fully prepared to do, only because rule number one, when you're pulling a guy up from the G5 level to the Power 5 level, especially a program like Florida, you got to wait and see what the staff looks like. Billy Napier's got to hire a staff. And you will have incomplete data until you know what his staff looks like. So that's rule number one. Having said that, when head coaches come from the G5 level, I always laugh at the flawed logic that is applied here. Here's what it sounds like. Maybe you've heard this already. Hopefully you haven't participated in it, but maybe you have. I call it the Chris Peterson effect. A lot of people are already applying the Chris Peterson effect to Billy Napier. It sounds a little something like this. I don't know if he's going to make it at Florida. I mean, that guy's never recruited a 4 or 5-star athlete. How's he going to do it at Florida? That guy's never even made the playoff. How's he going to do it at Florida? That is not the game we're talking about here. The same folks who would never take their Prius and enter it into the Daytona 500, knowing full well it would be unfair to compare a Prius to, what you see on a NASCAR track, would look at a guy from the G5 level and say, he's never done what it takes to win at Florida at his previous stop. Why should I expect him to do it here? Well, here's why. Because that's not how you judge or you measure the temperature of a coach's capability. You don't ask, what has he done relative to resources he hasn't had? You ask, what has he done relative to programs with comparable resources? So Billy Napier, just like Peterson out in the Mountain West back in the day, what has he done compared to teams with comparable resources? Well, what he's done is he's gone, 38-12. That's his head coaching record. He's won 4 division titles. He's won a conference title. He's playing for another one this Saturday. That's the question. What has he done relative to teams with comparable resources? He's done very well. Florida made a really good hire here. Now, what we have to find out, as I said, what is this staff going to look like? And then here, I'll grant you, is the great unknown. How are they going to recruit? This was the reason, ultimately, that Dan Mullen was out of a job. How's he going to recruit? But I will tell you this, a lot of you have watched Napier. I mean, those Sun Belt games are on TV a lot. So a lot of you are familiar with him and their brand of football. There is a core, there is a nucleus to what they do that when you ask a Florida fan 2 years from now, what is Florida football, they'll be able to tell you. Boom. Just like right off the tip of their tongue. And you couldn't always do that with Mullen because it always felt like what Dan Mullen was doing at Florida, it had bells, it had whistles, it had icing on it, but it didn't have that nucleus. Even last year when they won the East, it felt top heavy. It never felt like it did legs. Billy Napier's program works out legs. That's what I'm telling you. So it's not top heavy. It doesn't just have popcorn muscles to it. It's got a very, very sturdy core to it, and you'll know it. You know it for him at Louisiana, and you will know it at Florida. I'm excited about this hire. I know a lot of the oxygen is being sucked out of the room, rightfully so, because of Lincoln Riley to Oklahoma. Don't worry about it. And most of the Gator fans I've talked to today aren't. But I'm telling the few of you who are maybe mad you're not getting the attention you think you deserve, you don't get any credit for winning press conferences. You don't get any credit. You get credit for winning, and you hired a winner to win for you. That's a good thing.